Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. It's a beautiful Thursday morning, June 8th, 2023. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time to talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. Today, we're going to talk about the topic of financial literacy, and we want to ensure that each of you are familiar with the financial literacy curriculum that we have built in through the free funding proposal. So in short, when individuals request a free funding proposal, they will be invited to participate in this curriculum. I'll make this larger, of course, so you can see it, but it's described on this one page. There are several of us that act as instructors. The sheet that I'm showing you today is specifically my sheet. Each instructor has their own version of the syllabus, just like if you went and enrolled in a college class, the syllabus of the class would be specific to the given faculty member. Let me go ahead and make this larger so we can see it, and we'll go through it together. So the syllabus describes what we call the small business certification. So this is our financial literacy curriculum that we take each individual through if they would like. They're not required for free. And again, how do people access it? They access it by coming through the free funding proposal page. Each of you on your replicated website has a free funding proposal page. And so that's how you could put people into it as well as yourself. So let's just kind of work through it. Again, this is my version of the syllabus. The other instructors have their own version. While the main content is the same, it will highlight whomever is assigned to the participant, in other words, the instructor's name. Obviously, the instructor's qualifications will be specific to the given instructor. So again, just use that analogy. You signed up for Accounting 101 at the local college, you would get a syllabus for that given professor. So in terms of my qualifications, I have the 2 graduate degrees from the University of Minnesota. My undergraduate degree is in business and accounting. I have a paralegal, what's called a graduate paralegal certification from Rice University. I used to work for the SBA as an SBDC advisor, used to be a SCORE mentor. Used to be called Deloitte & Touche. Now it's called Deloitte. I was a senior financial consultant and used to be a full-time professor. So again, these bullets will vary based upon the given instructor that is teaching the small business certification for the individual who's enrolled. We want to make sure that the participants in the small business certification, in other words, our financial literacy curriculum, know how to reach their instructor. So each of us have an individual email. This is the email for me. Our office number answered live Monday through Friday during office hours. And then for texting, it's a different number. We do want the participants to recognize that this is the number that we'll be calling them from each week. Some people have phones where if the number is not recognized, the phone won't ring, or it goes directly into voicemail, or they simply won't pick up. We'll always have scheduled sessions, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, but we do want them to know in advance where that call will be coming from. We'll get down to the course schedule here in a minute. So now, so this is individualized to the given instructor. I know some of you are teaching this, so you have your own version of this. For me, this is my version. Make sense? So this is really just contact information for the instructor for those enrolled in my courses. So what is the course about? Well, it's offered as a free resource. The small business certification is a free grant-subsidized resource that helps entrepreneurs position their business to look credible on paper. Again, how do people plug into the financial literacy curriculum? Through the free funding proposal page. We taught this, I even personally taught this as a credit earning class at a college. Now, it was not 4 weeks at the college. It was a financial literacy class. They had to buy the textbook, they had to enroll, they had to pay 3 credit hours. And when I taught this, it was the full semester long. It was considered a hybrid course. where they came on campus 1 day a week, and then the rest was done online. But regardless, now it's packaged as a 4-week curriculum, and it uses award-winning curriculum developed by the FDIC and promoted by the SBA, which, again, we're going to talk about what's covered here in a few minutes. In addition to building financial literacy, we help them apply this new knowledge to their business so they have a lender-compliant loan package. You'll have some people that are just interested in learning, and so this is great. Others really aren't so much interested in learning. They're interested in getting funding. But what you and I know is we need to get them credible enough on paper. This is the way that we get them credible enough on paper. This is what makes this not too good to be true. This is specifically what we do for individuals. So by going through it, they're guaranteed a minimum of $100,000 to start or grow a business. There's online curriculum, and then we have weekly telephonic support with the assigned instructor. Again, there's other instructors. This is the syllabus that I use individually. So with any syllabus or curriculum, we're expected, and we needed to be able to get the grant allocation, we have to identify what are the outcomes. What do we expect the participants to receive or benefit from by going through the small business certification? Well, certainly the financial incentive is a big one. We're going to position them so they qualify for at least $100,000 capital raise. That's a big one. Secondly, we're going to help them improve their business financial literacy by going through the materials. They're going to have a lender compliant business plan, including 36-month financial projections. We're going to help them establish funding and credit under their EIN with no use of personal guarantees. They're going to have a lender compliant personal financial statement. And because of the volume that I teach, I actually have someone that helps me with some aspects of this, including the PFS. Lender compliant financial statements, income statements, and balance sheets specifically. And this is a real area that most entrepreneurs need assistance with. Most of them do not have the documentation to look credible for funding, especially larger amounts. So we're helping them with that. We're helping them with any credibility issues that's identified. And then, of course, if they want to be a referral partner, they can. That's not the focus of it. Course materials. Each week, participants will be emailed the course materials specific to that module. We're going to talk about the 4-weekly curriculum in a moment, and then they schedule weekly calls. I use Calendly link. Not all of our instructors, if I can highlight that, well, nonetheless, you can see the Calendly link. Not all of our instructors use Calendly, but I do. In terms of the course schedule, it's set up to be 4 weeks in duration, weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4. Week 1, we focus on business planning. So again, they're getting the participant guide, they're getting the training material. We provide them online access to a cloud-based software that I used both when I was a professor and also when I was an SBA, SBDC advisor. It's a software called Live Plan. The grant pays for that, so the participant doesn't have to pay anything. So in week 1, what we're going to do is get them started with seeing the 27 mistake training. If you've not gone through that, that's helpful. That creates a good understanding of what does it mean to be credible as a business, to prepare for funding, and then we start working on their business plan using Live Plan. In week 2, we work on building out their business credit. Week 3, we work on financial management, specifically those financial statements that we talked about earlier that many clients don't have. And week 4 is called banking and money, getting the documentation pulled together and everything assembled in a Dropbox account that we create for them. So in summary, this is how we approach financial literacy in a concise and effective way. We call it our small business certification. Participants do not pay anything for it, and they're going to be able to plug in when they request a free funding proposal. It's included. So let's get to your questions, comments, concerns. I know many of you, like myself, are very concerned about helping the participants become more financially literate. So the goal, of course, is to get their business positioned for funding, but we're going to be able to best accomplish that by improving their financial literacy. This is how we do it. So we have a good group, big group today on the live Zoom, and then the rest of you probably are listening to this recording afterwards. Who has questions on the financial literacy curriculum? If any of you have not gone through it, I encourage you to do so. It's not a requirement, but I think you'd find it useful. Again, this is really, really strong material. We taught it as a credit earning class at a college in the past. Then we rolled it into our nonprofit once we got the grant. The material that we use was originally developed by the FDIC and promoted by the SBA. All right, so Timothy's asking, do they have to buy a textbook? No, you're correct. When we offered it as a credit earning class at the college, there was a required textbook. That is no longer necessary. So sorry for the confusion. So that is true that when we taught it as a college course, there was a textbook. Now the materials are provided to them. And again, we've had to cut some out. When we moved from a full semester-long course to just a 4-week curriculum, we've had to really fine-tune it, but it certainly is worthwhile and helpful. So it's all about helping the client get positioned on paper to qualify for funding. Because again, you and I know it's too good to be true to think, oh, they just enroll and all of a suddenly they're qualified for $100 or $200 or $500,000. That's nonsense. What we do is we assist them in becoming credible enough. And one way that we do that is by going through this curriculum. So financial literacy is important. I think some of you are using this as a draw to get people to get a free funding proposal, because not only does a free funding proposal provide them access to immediate funding offers now, it also provides them access to the curriculum. So who has questions, comments, concerns on our structured approach to improving clients' financial literacy? All right, Sarah's asking about offering this in person. So before the pandemic, we were going out to chambers and churches and organizations and teaching this curriculum in a one-day session. So instead of broken out over 4 weeks, we'd spend a day together. So literally at the end of the day, they would have their loan package built. But with the COVID and travel restrictions, we stopped doing that and we've never resumed doing it. Seems like most of society now is comfortable in doing things online. So now we do it online. That allows people to enroll and get started now rather than waiting for some date in the future. It eliminates the travel cost and logistical constraints. All right, so Holly's asking, when we direct clients to this after the assessment, is this the $1,000 commission? No, I don't think so. So this is free financial literacy that is available to clients. The way that they would plug into it is first, they're going to request a free funding proposal, which we've talked about a lot, right? So it's a page on your replicated site. It's a page on the main site. They put in their first name, last name. Sorry, that's incorrect. They put in their name, email, and phone, and then we send them the access to capital packet. So then they're going to get an Adobe packet to complete that one-page app so we can get them funding offers. And at that point, then, in addition to providing them funding offers, then we're plugging them into this curriculum automatically. They're not required. They're not paying for this, but they'll be invited to participate in the curriculum automatically upon requesting the free funding proposal. Holly's question, I feel like, was more regarding how is she paid. So for clients that are going through the free funding proposal, the clients are guaranteed the minimum of $100,000. As a small business consultant, you're paid 3 points, 3% of that. So if they just get the minimum 100,000, you're getting 3,000. Certainly they could get more. If you're one of our state directors, then you're getting a 1 point override. So this isn't changing how each of you are paid. This is just simply bringing more attention to this award-winning financial literacy curriculum that we provide to participants once they have requested a free funding proposal. So sorry if there's any confusion. So this isn't something new. This isn't something different. This isn't something that has changed. I just felt that a number of you have come on board recently and may not be aware of this really strong curriculum that we provide free of charge. The way that they would access that is by requesting a free funding proposal, and then they're automatically invited to participate in the small business certification. They don't have to if they don't want to. All right, questions, comments, concerns on this? I don't know each of your mindset, if like Holly, for instance, if your mindset is, yes, we really need to help these people better know what it takes to get funding, then this is invaluable, right? This is practical, it's relevant. Again, look at what we're working on with them. We're helping them build out a business plan. We're helping them improve and create established business creditworthiness. We're helping them create financial management reports that are helpful both for them internally and expected by most lenders. So that this is very, very practical. When we taught it at the college for a full semester, we went into a lot more information because we had more time. Here, this is drilled down to just what's most relevant to help these individuals, what we'll call these participants, be able to be ready for funding. So it's just very practical, very relevant. Casey's asking if she needs to teach this to the people she refers in. No. We have a number of us that are instructors, myself and the others, and we'll take them through the curriculum. You're not burdened or required or obligated to teach this. In the past, we've delegated a lot of the teaching. We didn't always have really good consistency with that. And so if you are interested in becoming an instructor, let us know. But in general, no, by you referring in, you're not responsible for taking folks through the curriculum. That's the beautiful thing about being a small business consultant. You're really feeding people in for free funding proposals. They get the funding, they get their curriculum, you get paid, but you're not responsible for implementation. Any other questions? Well, let me just do a quick poll. If you could each go into the Q&A of Zoom and answer yes or no. Have you individually gone through this curriculum? So Bernard, Deborah, Holly, Jeanette, Lon, Netra, Patricia, Pauline, Mr. Brown, the rest of you, have you gone through it? So just answer yes or no. If you haven't, I encourage you to do so. You don't have to, but I encourage you to do so. Some of you have the mindset, hey, I need to know exactly what the client experience is going to be. Well, this is part of the client experience. And so I see a lot of no's. Jeanette says no. Deborah says no. Mr. Brown says no. Holly says no. A lot of you have said no. So that's great that we're having this discussion. So I think it'd be valuable for you to go through it. It takes 4 weeks normally to complete the curriculum. We do provide, in many cases, it's been a battle, a conflict. Do we provide the entire curriculum up front, or do we pace the participants over 4 weeks where they're getting a topic a week? And so here's the truth of the matter, not to complicate it. For individuals that go through our credit and funding program, they actually get access to the entire curriculum up front. And participants in our Access to Capital program actually get it streamed out over 4 weeks. that's kind of a trivia matter. So it's the same curriculum, but we decided to kind of do some split testing. So clients that go through the credit and funding, they get access to the full curriculum immediately, so they theoretically could complete it in a couple days or less. But our bread and butter has been pacing it out over 4 weeks. So each week they're getting a new curriculum, and then we're applying that to their business in a controlled fashion. I feel better about that, but I do know that some clients say, hey, just give it all to me right up front. I want to get this done as quickly as soon as possible. Holly asked, is there a registration link? Well, it happens organically. So anyone that comes through the free funding proposal, they fill out that lead capture form, if you will, name, email, phone. Then we send them the Adobe one-page app, and anyone that completes that wants the free funding proposal, they're automatically invited into this. So there's not a separate registration. In the past, we've had that, but now it's linked to getting the free funding proposal. So anyway, to wrap it up, great curriculum. Obviously, the way that it's taught will vary a little bit based upon the instructor. Just like, again, going to your local college, there's probably 3 professors that teach Accounting 101, and although it's the same material, it's a little bit of a different experience based upon the instructor. This is my syllabus and my contact information. Casey's asking about teaching it. And so certainly if you're interested in teaching this, we could visit about that. You could contact us, but our purpose today isn't so much to try to recruit new instructors, but instead it's just to clarify that this is a very valuable part of the value proposition that participants receive. So in addition to getting a free funding proposal where they get the offers for funding now, we help them move from where they're at to where they need to be. And this is the kind of the infrastructure behind getting them there. Because what is it that a small business would need to qualify for larger amounts of business funding? Well, they probably are going to need, well, we'll go up here. They're probably going to need a business plan. They're probably going to need financial projections. They probably are going to need to have established business credit worthiness. They individually probably need to look good on paper. Their business needs to look credible on paper. So those are the things that we're doing. We're not just taking their time and energy for what's nice to know. These are the elements that they need to know. And so we teach them the why, and then we apply that to them in their business. So they have a credible business plan. So they have established business credit. So they have good financial reports. So it's teaching them what we're doing, why we're doing it, and then applying it to their business. It's invaluable. So you can start to see, because sometimes we'll have people come to us and say, oh, you guys are loan brokers. No, we're considered what's commonly called in the industry technical advisors. We're helping people become credible enough to qualify for funding. I've had people say, well, that's a scam. It's like, well, how could you say that? You think that helping people build business plans and building business credit and having good financial reporting, that's somehow not credible to you? No, it's exactly what is credible. That's exactly what is needed for these small businesses to qualify for larger amounts of funding. So it's an organized, well-orchestrated attempt to help small businesses get from where they're at to where they need to be to qualify for larger capital raises. Now, granted, some clients will request a free funding proposal, and some of them will be credible enough at the get-go. I respect that. We used to require participation in the curriculum. We don't anymore. It's made optional, but it's valuable. So I just wanted you to know the purpose of today's training is to make sure that you're aware of it. You know how people can plug into it, which again, they request a free funding proposal either on our main website or on your replicated site. They get the Adobe app, and then that will allow them to get plugged into this curriculum. And by default, they're plugged in. They can opt out. And again, they don't have to pay anything to go through the curriculum, but they don't have to say, oh yeah, also I want to do the curriculum. It's automatically invited to them. They'll start receiving module 1, which we call week 1, typically the same day that they complete, same day or following day that they request a free funding proposal. And so then again, if they want to take advantage of this, they can. If they don't want to, they don't have to. All right, well, hopefully this was useful in creating greater awareness of our financial literacy curriculum so you understand exactly how we do it. Certainly there are opportunities. If you want to go out and start teaching this in person, there's ways that can be done, but that's not our goal today. I just want you to feel really proud, confident, and have competence in understanding our financial literacy curriculum. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Have a good day.